debate. 10 minutes gone past the hour 10 o'clock. We are want of time this morning, but I'm very sure we are not want of action because it is I Beg to Differ 2024. Another pair are sat down in the studio. It's time for us to get to listen to their points, their rebuttals, and obviously, like we experienced yesterday, some seriously heavy punchlines. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to I Beg to Differ. All right, so let's quickly get to meet our guest this morning. The students joining me in the studio for another round of debate, the quarterfinals. I have Atsosioya joining me and Megan Ebibokefie. They were both wonderful last week. They had fights. They were and they were able to scale through this morning. Both of them wearing blue blazers. It's going to be the battle of the blues this morning. All right, so let's get to say hello to you two. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, that's Megan's voice, by the way. Miracle, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling cold.
Good. All right, so I've turned down the AC, all right, so that we can get the temperature just warm. All right, so follow us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, let's give both of them time to warm up. No more than a minute. We're back after these messages.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
Are you into business and sales or offer any sort of service? Looking to connect with the public and potential clients? Then visit the sales and marketing team at our head office, AIM Complex, Kilometer 16, East West Road, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Call us on 0809 993 0149. Come, let's connect you to the world. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, so we're back and let's get to it right now. I Beg to Differ 2024, and I'm very, very pleased once again to be doing this show with you. Once again, you can follow us on social media at Nigeria Info PH. You can also listen online at nigeriainfo.fm anywhere in the world. Now, today's starter is school uniforms are an irrelevant part of our school system in Nigeria. School uniforms are an irrelevant part of our school system in Nigeria. As always, we have 3 minutes on the clock. We're going to start with the supporter, the proposer of the motion, Miracle. Miracle, good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
All right, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you know the rules. 3 minutes, okay?
Yes, sir.
Your time starts now.
All protocols are duly observed, respectively and duly observed. I am Atsosioya. I'm here to support the motion that school uniforms are irrelevant of our school system in Nigeria. According to Wikipedia, school system is an institution, is a structure of institution of all obtaining education. Is a structure of institution of all obtaining opportunity of obtaining education within a country. Below are my reasons for agreeing with the idea. 1. Body image. Experts make it clear that not all clothing are for all people, owing to difference in body sizes, shapes, or even skin tone. But school uniform forces it on all, quite unfair. 2. Maintenance. Strict uniform policies makes it hard to maintain uniform as slight changes in them, even in attempts to repair them, may mean to get another one. 3. Gender discrimination. Due to the use of skirts for girls, they can only perform in sporting activities once or twice in a week, which is not the same for their American counterparts. Or do you think Serena Williams became great with less practice? 4. Cost of uniform. Do you think uniform are cheap? Well, newsflash, as the cost of production, transportation and distribution of uniform tells on parents who have to buy 3 to 7 of these for each child. 5. Racism. Most school uniform inversely promotes racism in Nigeria. Most school uniform in the aim of looking corporate promotes American and British culture. what then happens to ours? 6. General discomfort. In a very sunny day, an average person would decide to wear a light clothing, but whether it's sunny or cold, the uniform remains uniform. 6. Discrimination. Uniform has deprived people with specialized with disabilities and medical conditions their rights to specialized clothing. 7. Legal backing. 8. Legal backing. If no part of the Nigerian Constitution necessitates the use of uniform, I see no reason why it should be compulsory, why it should be relevant in Nigeria. 9. Camouflage. Like the phrase "wolf in sheep clothing." How can we tell apart bad influence when we are meant to look the same? Uniform have made it difficult to tell apart personalities from a distance, as our parents has warned us to. 10. Religious tolerance. Most schools faces the debate of using hijab in Christian schools or not using it in Islamic schools. In Islamic schools, when freedom of clothing can easily address this. 11. Indirect extortion. Multiple use of uniform indirectly extorts from parents. 12. Assessment and evaluation. Since uniform style and color does not matter in a certificate examination, I see no reason why it should be compulsory. 13. Curricular development. School curriculum is the most important part of our educational system, yet it does not embody the use of school uniform. Again, that's for that.
All right, that's 3 minutes on the clock. Your time has just elapsed. We're going to take a breather, and then we're going to get to the opposer of the motion, and that's going to give us time for more conversations, because we have a second pair later on today. Once again, Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you will find us. Stay tuned.
Talk radio. 92.3 Talk radio.
Number one, talk all the time. It's more station.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
All right, so we are back. It's time for Megan to oppose the motion. Once again, if you just joined us, this is I Beg to Differ 2024. The quarters right here. And we've listened to the opening argument. Now let's get to hear the opposer of the motion also deliver her opening argument. Megan, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right. So we are resetting the clock. It's zeros right now. 3 minutes on the clock. Can you hear us, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, your time starts now.
The moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debater, and the audience, good morning. My name is Megan Ebibokefie. I'm a student of the Threshold International School. I am here to oppose a motion which says school uniforms are an irrelevant part of our school system in Nigeria. A school uniform, according to the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, is special clothing worn by students in school. Other terms I'll be defining are the school system, which is a system made up of institutions that are concerned with the education of children and young people, and relevance, which is a state of being connected or appropriate with the matter at hand. According to historians, the first documented set of academic dress was the Kappa Clausa worn by students of the Oxford University in 1222 England, and it was created by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Stephen Langton, who wanted to create unity among the students. Which brings me to my first point. School uniforms promote unity among students. School uniforms give students a sense of being one, and it gives them togetherness. It makes them to be able to build teamwork and partnership skills, to be able to rely on each other, and they see each other as under one body, and it even builds the school spirits. Why would we take this thing away from schools and replace it with absolutely nothing? Secondly, school uniforms help in easy identification of students. When we see students, they usually can identify who is a student based on their uniform. School uniforms make that possible. They also make it easier to identify students when we're going on excursion. During excursion, when a student gets missing, they can easily be identified by their uniform and redirected to a group with their classmates and teachers, which is very important in ensuring the safety of the students. Thirdly, school uniforms prevent unnecessary conflicts within classmates. If students wore their normal clothes to school, then some of them will be trying to show off the expensive clothes, which could make others from lesser homes feel insecure about their own clothing, or even be pestering their parents to get them more clothing to match up with their classmates, which could build jealousy and inferiority complexes among the students and lead to rivalry amongst them, which is not a very good thing for them to have when they're trying to be focusing on their studies. Next, school uniform also removes the financial burden parents have to carry. If their children want to meet up with their other classmates, they would switch their clothes. They will ask their parents continuously, "Oh, please, can you do this for me? Please, can you do this?" Because students are always looking for a way to match up with their classmates, because students are students everywhere. If students have this, the students if parents follow this path with their children, they could end up losing more money in the long run, which is not very good. So school uniforms, make sure the parents know that this is a one-time buy that will last them many years. And lastly, school uniforms prevent children from wearing inappropriate clothing. School is a formal environment, as we all know, and because of that, it has its own standard of dress, which students must dress in that way. Because of school uniform, students are prevented from wearing clothes that are inappropriate for school, and even prepares them for their future jobs, such as being a lawyer or maybe being a doctor, where they will still have to wear some form of uniform. I believe these points of mine will be able to convince you that school uniforms are important to our school systems in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, so that's 2 minutes and 56 seconds on the clock, cutting it very, very close this morning. Now, once again, if you get onto Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH, we're broadcasting live this morning. The I Beg to Differ Debate 2024. We'll take a breather. And when we come back, we're going to hear the rebuttals. And this time we'll start with Megan, who is opposing, and that will be followed by the supporter of the motion, Miracle, for their rebuttal statement. Stay tuned, more to come.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
I must say, some points made by my opponents are based on phobia of the social media.
The studio, Miracle and Megan, both M's. Interestingly, it's a bit of a coincidence, and both of them are getting ready to give us their rebuttal statements. Now we're going to start with the opposer of the motion. That's Megan. Megan, good morning to you once again.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right. So Megan, you can see the clock is in front of you, your timer. We are resetting to zeros. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
All right. So the rules still remain the same. 3 minutes on the clock for you and for anybody. Your time starts now.
All protocols duly observed. I'm Ebibokefie here to oppose the motion which says school uniforms are an irrelevant part of our school system in Nigeria. I first of all want to re-emphasize now one of my points. According to a study done by Chris Bowman and Hannah Kriskova, published in the International Journal for Educational Management, it says that students in uniform are more disciplined and they pay more attention in class and they reduce teachers' wait time. Then on to my opponent's points. The first thing she spoke about was body image. That it's not for all bodies, but this could also come in a negative way. School uniform comes in different shapes and sizes. We're acting as if school uniforms do not come in different shapes. They come in different shapes and sizes. So you go and you try them out, and whichever one is good for you, you put it on. You come to school. That's easily said and done. Then maintenance. I wanted to bring another point about this. School uniform can teach students to be more responsible with their uniform. They would want to keep it safe and keep it secure, and it also reduces the amount of stress they have to choose to pick out what to wear. If students wear mufti, they would have to think, what am I going to wear tomorrow? And some students might be stressed about it. Then she also talked about racism and discrimination, that we're trying to copy the whites. But first of all, that doesn't stand very well, because like our lawyers in Nigeria wear the same thing that lawyers in England wear. So when we say we're trying to copy the whites, we don't have to change the clothes of our lawyers because it's trying to say like we're copying the whites. And first of all, we have seen the benefit of school uniform. That's why we are using it as well. We're not the only people that are using it. Many other people, not just in the Western countries, but also in Africa, are using school uniform. Then she spoke about camouflage. But you see, you said that you can't tell students apart from their personality from afar. But you don't tell someone's personality from afar on a normal day. Yes, some clothes can tell you something about who the person is. But when you look at them, you won't be able to tell all the time how the person truly is. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover. So what we do is we go up to people and we speak to them to know what they are like, not from their clothing that they are wearing. And then she also spoke about religious tolerance. And school uniform is not discriminatory. I just want to say that school uniform is not discriminatory. If you want to go to a Christian school, obviously they might not allow hijabs for you. That's just basic knowledge that everybody should know. Then, let's see, indirect extortion. Now, frankly, I don't fully understand this point my opponent was saying. Indirect extortion because of your wearing uniform? How? It doesn't make complete sense to me. Then let's see, she just spoke about cost of uniform. But I don't know if she does economics, but in economics, it says that if an organization is losing money in the short run, and they should not close down. But if they're losing money in the long run, they should close down. School uniform does not make us lose money in the short run, or in the long run. It might, yes, at the time, you might lose more money. But in future, you're saving for the future. So school uniform is very beneficial in the cost.
All right, thank you very much. 3 minutes on the clock, Matt. And now let's time to switch over to the other contestant. This time around is the supporter of the motion. Okay, say, okay, right, deep breaths, okay? All right, so I know we've turned off the AC so that it's warm enough. You know, they will be cold earlier on, so let's get back to them right after the break.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap.
Oh yes, talk is not cheap. And nowhere else do you get great conversations like you do right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info PH. And today is the continuation of I Beg to Differ. It's time for us to get to the supporter of the motion and her rebuttal statement. Miracle, good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right. So, are we good? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right. So, deep breaths. I want you to be as relaxed as possible. Here we go. All right. So, we have reset the clock, the timer, once again to zeros. We have 3 minutes for you. Your time starts now.
Greetings once again to the house. I still remember Atsosioya. Promote unity among students. School uniforms help in easily identification of students. Prevent unnecessary conflict. School uniforms remove financial burdens from parents. Discipline. Above are the importance raised by my opponents in opposition to the given motion. Given the following reasons, I still stand the argument that school uniforms are irrelevant part of our school system. School uniform, over its cost of use, has created a social gap between schools with better looking uniform from schools with simpler uniform. Hence, negotiating your school uniform removes financial burden from parents. Furthermore, does school uniform really reduces bullying? The answer is capital no, because these bullies will find other things to pick on, such as religious, academic grades, body sizes, skin tone, or even shapes. For matters of security, school that will best describe as the theory of the Remember the Chibok girls who were kidnapped who were kidnapped, they had their uniforms on. As a matter of fact, if they were not on uniforms, some might have escaped and disguised as non-academic staffs if they were not on uniforms. Does school uniform really instill discipline in students? My dear opponent, I will say no to that because charity, they say, begins at home, and so is discipline. And we don't wear school uniforms in our various houses, do we? In addition, with all the so-called focus we have using school uniforms, Nigerian educational system still rank 124 in the world according to Business Day Nigeria. This statistics further proves to me that school uniforms are irrelevant in our school system. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. That's done under 3 minutes. It's now 11:31 a.m. We are going to get into a break, and then we get results. We have a second pair coming through, so very quickly. All right, so you guys can both relax. Whew, okay, all right, that was a bit of a fight for both of you, cutting it very, very, very close. All right, so I'm going to ask you first and foremost, if you had a choice, would you wear school uniforms every day? I'll start with you, Megan.
I wear school uniforms every day, yes.
If you had a choice.
Yes. On a normal day, I don't even like to carry my I've even created my own uniform for school events. I basically just wear shirts and trousers.
Okay.
Even in school events.
So that's your uniform.
And I believe that school uniforms are really good at helping us to know what I saw three groups of schools as I passed this place. One was going into the Nigerian Television Association, and then the other ones were near, you just go out the gates. That's how do I know those people are students? Because I saw their uniforms.
Okay.
Exactly. Even when I entered inside this place, if I just entered wearing normal clothes, the woman who was at the front desk wouldn't have asked me
where you going.
From.
Okay, all right, very good. Miracle, normally, do you like school uniforms?
No.
You don't like school
uniforms.
All right, you don't like it. So you share your opportunity. You'd like to wear normal clothes to school, like we like to see in the UK and in the US. People just wear.
I'm very, very happy.
Very happy.
Actually, it's not that many. Sorry.
So yeah, no, finish. Yeah.
I hate uniform because I feel it gives me stress.
Okay.
Wearing uniform every day is it doesn't feel better to me.
What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be your career?
I want to be a mass communicator.
Oh,
okay.
Because if you said something maybe
medicine, yes,
medicine
but by funny enough, even the doctors and the engineers who have uniforms still only wear overcoats. They still dress individually.
But uniforms, I see uniforms that is not important because it's not create any extra value.
But I think for talking about that, we have to look at we're talking about students. So we have to look at when it's in place and when it's not in place.
Okay, all right. We have to stop. See, now we're already having a debate here in the studio, just as some of you have on Facebook. Girls, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. So you can step outside. We'll be back after the break. More to come on I Beg to Differ. You see what happens when we have debates?
Talk radio. 92.3 Talk radio.
#1 talk all the time. Sports station.
This is I Beg to Differ on 90.
It is I Beg to Differ 2024. The first pair are done and dusted. We have a second pair standing in, or rather sat in the studio with me. But before we do so, let's quickly get the results from the judges who have just sent it to me via the apps that we use. And let's get the results. All right, so the three judges, interestingly, scored the contestants very narrow margins. Very narrow. Interestingly, but ultimately, it is a unanimous decision. And the winner of that round is Megan. Megan, congratulations. All right, congratulations to Megan. She is then going to the next round, and we get to hear from her much later on. A big applause to all of you also following us on social media. All right, so now let's get to hear from the second pair, as they have another topic with us and their punchlines are ready to be delivered. All right, so put on the microphones now as we welcome Emerald Handsome and Victor Favour. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, sir.
How are you guys doing?
We're fine, sir.
Okay, so now, do you know who is supporting?
I'm Emerald Handsome.
Okay, so Emerald Handsome, you are supporting,
yes.
And Victor Favour, you are opposing. All right, so we know that both of you are from the same school, and it's time for us to rub and get our hands dirty. We want to get to hear your points, we want to be clear, and we need you both to be prepped. So first things first, everybody, deep breaths. Here we go. Okay, all right, deep breaths. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. All right, and our topic is this. Online education is better than classroom education. Online education is better than classroom education. All right. So, Emerald Handsome, you are supporting the motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I'm putting your microphone on and reminding you, 3 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Your time starts now.
Good day, judges, moderator, co-debater, and my lovely audience. I am Emerald Handsome of Jesus Offspring Modern International School, supporting the motion online education is better than classroom education. Allow me to give a clear picture of what online education is. Online education is a flexible instructional delivery system that encompasses all kinds of learning that takes place via internet. Below are my undeniable points. 1. Flexibility. Education is for all, old and young alike, hence making it easy for adults with a job to still have access to education at their convenience. 2. Global networking. Online education has made it easy for the student to widen out as they can possibly learn with people from other geographical locations around the world. 3. Cost effectiveness. Online classes greatly reduce costs on the side of the students. How so? Cost of transportation, accommodation, and feeding outside home is really no joke, as the students will now have to learn from the comfort of their homes. 4. Convenience. Asynchronous online learning, meaning learning at a time suitable for you, has now made it possible for one not to miss any class, as one can learn without interrupting daily schedules. 5. Access to expert instructors. World-class teachers and professionals whose cost of hired service can hardly be afforded have been made possible through online tutorials. 6. Personalized learning. Customized e-learning has made it possible for the students to now make arrangements on what they want to learn or how they should be taught, making learning even more fun for the students. 7. Around-the-clock service. Another type of online learning is pre-recorded video learning. This type of learning makes it possible to have one's class any time of the day, morning, noon, or night, which can hardly be achieved by classroom learning. 8. Lifelong learning opportunities. Most adults still have the zeal to learn, but cannot go back to classroom due to age, medical conditions, or even social anxieties. Thanks to online education, these men and women can now fulfill their lifelong dreams. 9. Updated learning materials. Learning materials are renewed every day. Things are either added or removed. Instead of buying a new or latest learning materials, all students need to do is to refresh your study materials with internet connection. Within milliseconds, you're good to go. 10. Integration of multimedia. Study aids such as videos, audio files, or even graphical illustrations for easy learning have been easily added to online classes, thereby saving longer explanation from study guides. Thank you.
All right, 2 minutes and 23 seconds. That was Emerald Handsome delivering her opening salvo. It's now time to get to hear from her opponent and apparently friend, because they are in the same school and they've been smiling at each other, Victor Favour. We'll be back after the break.
Talk radio.
92.3
Talk radio.
number one talk all the time. And sports station.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
A child's dreams are too heavy to entrust in careless hands. Wigwe University,
where the fearless make history.
All right, so welcome back to I Beg to Differ right here. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. And once again, just in case you didn't know, well, our sponsors for this year's edition is Wigwe University. But let's get to listen to Victor Favour, who is opposing the motion this morning. Do you think we should continue with regular classrooms, or is the online classroom the way to go? Well, she has her points. All right, Victor Favour, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right. So as always, the time has been reset. 3 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, I need to be clear. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, your time starts now.
Good MSc Georges, moderator, co-debater, and my warm audience. I am Victor Favour from Jesus Hospital Model International School, here to oppose the motion. Is online education better than classroom education? Allow me to define the keywords. Classroom education. Classroom education means the provision of educational system and courses to one or more students in a setting where an instructor is present. Is online education really possible? Yes. Is it better than classroom education? That is why I beg to disagree with my following points. 1. Lack of physical interaction. Human are social animal, which means they best learn by interacting, quote-unquote, physical interaction, judging that we not only learn from our instructors as students, we can also learn from our classmates. 2. Limited resources. Libraries, technical workshops, laboratories are very important parts of learning. How can one get access to this in an online class? Imagine a medical student with no practical experience. Hard to imagine, right? 3. Technical problems. Glitches, network problems, and even power outage are few out of the many problems online classes face. How then can they be compared to classroom learning? 4. Distraction. One's environment can not only distract them, but also others from the audio conversation while trying to participate in class discussions, thereby making learning difficult and unbearable. 5. Academic dishonesty. Examination malpractice is a national problem, even in classroom. How would it be if students are allowed to write exam from the comfort of their home? Yes, your guess is as good as mine. Straight and undefendable aids. 6. Questionable study materials. Piracy and plagiarism has been made easy through the internet, thereby making it difficult to get original and unadulterated study materials. 7. Social isolation. Students who go through online classes may find it hard to socialize and may struggle with social anxiety problems. 8. Digital fatigue. Increased long hours, increased screen time due to long online classes can stress the eyes and cause tiredness, which makes understanding difficult in classes. 9. Disconnection from school experience. Students who are schooled online will find it hard to relate with school experience as they lack it, thereby fostering inferiority complex. Lastly, procrastination. It takes strong self-discipline and motivation for students online to attend classes, since the schedule can be random and sometimes self-planned. All this being said, I still disagree that online education is better than classroom education. Thanks.
All right, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That was how long it took for her to marshal out her point. Victor, you hope you know you are the opposer of the motion. So that means the rebuttal, you're going to start first. Okay, all right. So we're back after this break. Stay tuned. I Beg to Differ returns.
Talk radio.
92.3
Talk radio.
number one talk all the time. And sports station.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
Africa needs a new set of fearless leaders. Let's raise them. Wigwe University,
where the fearless make history.
All right, so we are back once again. So I Beg to Differ 2024, sponsored by Wigwe University. All right, so Emerald Handsome, we're waiting for you. Well, you know that we have to listen to the opposer of the motion. Yes. Okay, all right. So that means we come to Victor Favour. Victor, as always, your clock is back to 0. 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Greetings to the house once more. I remain Victor Favour, here to further strengthen my position against the motion. Online education is better than classroom education. In attempt to state her point, my dear opponent highlighted the following: convenience, around-the-clock services, personalized learning, lifelong learning, integration of multimedia fight. May I now address this one at a time? Convenience and personalized learning. Learning is supposed to be conducive, not necessarily convenient. Since the time of when and how to learn should not be handed to students who struggle with self-discipline. Most students are trapped in classrooms where they are monitored. Now imagine when those same students have to have control over their choices. 2. Around-the-clock services. This has to do with pre-recorded classes, right? This means that a particular class can repeatedly be played for even years to come. How up to date are they? That's really down to the authenticity of such education. 3. Lifelong learning. The case that online education offers lifelong learning. The case that online education offers lifelong learning only borrows its idea from ICE, which is Institute for Continuous Learning in various universities. Yet again, classroom education is first in that regard. 4. Integration of multimedia files. There are more than a possible number of reasons that goes against this. Viruses, security breaches, malware, and even pop-up ads. These materials can make learning unbearable and frustrate online learners. Lastly, due to underdeveloped social skills from students who schooled online, how then would they be able to cope with in the labor market with job that requires physical interaction? I wonder how that would work. Once again, I hope I've been able to convince you in opposition to the motion that online education is better than classroom education. Thank you.
All right, 1 minute and 50 seconds. That's what it took for her to offer her rebuttal. Let's get to hear from Emerald right after this break.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
All right, so Miss Emerald Handsome, once again, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right, so you know the drill. 3 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now.
To the incorruptible judges, moderator, and audience, I greet you once more. I still remain Emerald Handsome. With the following, I hope to counter my opponent points in the opposition to the motion online education is better than classroom education. 1. My dear opponent here rightly mentioned physical interaction. This is important, no doubt. But if so important, why do students that learn in the classroom still have online forums and chat rooms for better communication? I put it to you that in modern education, you can hardly separate online education from classroom education, but online education can stand on its own. 2. Distraction, my dear opponent, is a general challenge that even learning in classrooms cannot be exempted. It is even reduced while learning online, as most students would go to a quiet place to take their classes. 3. Academic dishonesty. JAMB is an example of hybrid exam system, and guess what? There have been massive reduction in malpractice since its inception. So centers are now provided for online students to take monitored exams. 4. Questionable study materials. Book lifting and piracy is common among teachers who cannot make teaching materials on their own without the help of internet. 5. Speaking of digital fatigue, students can even pause or end asynchronous classes for later, but that is not possible in classroom, my dear. This being said, I hope to have convinced the House that yet again, online education is the future of learning that has come to stay. Once again, I remain Emerald Handsome of Jesus Offspring Modern International School. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Emerald Handsome delivering her final bit for the morning and did for this debate. We're going to break and we'll get back and have the judges give us their final word. But before we do so, let's bring the friends, because obviously they're smiling at each other. It's okay, now you can... okay, there you go. You can ease off. Okay. All right. Favour, let me come to you. How was that for you?
The debate.
Yeah, this round seemed to have made you a bit quieter. You delivered very quickly. 1 minute and 37 seconds. Practice. Emerald, how was it for you?
So it's tough and and I studied hard. So.
Okay, all right. So you studied hard and it was tough. But let me ask you guys. All right. Based off of this topic that you were given to prepare for, do you really prefer coming to classrooms to have your lectures?
I prefer online education.
You do?
Yes.
You too?
Yes.
Oh, you prefer just stay in the house, put on the computer and just listen to lecture. Yes. Okay, but you do know. I listened to you very intently. You did mention that. Look, the other parts of interaction, talking to your friends, for example, playing outside when there's break time. You can't do that if you're at home. But you still prefer going. Yes, okay. Well, we'll see what the future holds. We know that online classrooms are here to stay, but how widespread will they be? Well, only time will tell. But for our guests, thank you very much for coming this morning. We should do very best. Sir. All right, so we'll go on that break. When we return, the judges should have their results for us, and we'll be saying a goodbye for today's program. The news comes up your way in exactly 8 minutes. Stay tuned.